Welcome back for a very dramatic announcement. What is it? Well, technically, we're here to invite you to join us back at the beach. Oh, that's very anticlimactic. Where we'll be making a very dramatic announcement. It's hard being the producers and the hosts. Aren't survivors supposed to work in groups of 4? Indeed. But it never works out that way. When you arrive at the beach, you realize you were set up. Bamboozled! Despite promising an announcement, Dwight and Claudette simply stand quietly. This isn't at all what was promised. I've been played like a damn fiddle! Wait a minute, there's no announcement here. But there is a me! It's a me, a Mario. You got mud in your ears, friend? I told you to get lost. Oh, spicy. Don't you see? Lost is what I am. And so are you. But I know the way out. I've got a map back in my secret lair. Literally. And figuratively. Yeah, I know the difference. Wraith working his big brain. That's why you should ditch Spirit and come spend the rest of the night with me instead. Bruh, it's not happening. You got a secret lair? I mean, that is intriguing. I'm not gonna lie. I do like secret lairs. Damn it. Who said anything about a secret lair? I said I've got, sap. Sap in my secret hair. There's a flap on my secret chair. None of that sounds appealing. Don't change the subject. Indeed. Don't ask me what he's talking about. You're trying to make a mess of the first nice day I've had in I don't know how long, because it's not even clear what year it is, but in a while. Uh-oh, Spirit's angry. I'm not about to be ditched for the likes of you. It's not me messing things up. Like I keep trying to tell you, it's this dang island. He said dang. I love that word. I've come to accept a difficult truth. What's happening here? Well, I'm convinced that it's our fate. It's not anyone's decision. It's simply the way it will be. There's no use fighting it. Well, that's deep. What would you even know about fighting? All you know is hiding in your spooky little secret hair. And crying like a baby while ringing your little bell. Oh, she doesn't have to call out the Wraithmanes like that. So don't tell me what I can and can't fight back against. I was born a fighter. A dragon lives inside me. I can't not fight, even when all I might want to do is hide. Don't you see this giant hat? It's a metaphor. What? If I do have a fate, my fate is to win every fight that comes my way. Got it? Dang, girl. Folks. Oh, you hide. I've seen you hide. You do your phase walking routine. What do you call that? It's basically cloaking. He's not wrong. And we all know that cloaking is a type of hiding. I mean, he's not wrong, and that's the technical best type. Folks, you cloak. I don't cloak. I'm not a cloaker. I phase walk out in the open. You just can't see me. I have no idea what they're talking about, but this sure sounds like some video game community forum thread, if ever there was such a thing. Not that you know about that either, totally. I have no idea. Yeah, look at Dwight's little short shorts though. He is pulling them off well. It sure doesn't seem like Dwight and Claudette are going to stop this, so it's on you. Ahem. I think I was brought here to make this choice, so I'm going to do that now. And I choose, well, duh, Spirit. When it comes down to it, neither of these two seems easy to love. I mean, damn, Spirit literally has broken glass shards sticking out of her. But she has a certain charm to her gloom, indeed. Spirit and I were actually having a nice time. Besides, if it's my fate to end up on this island, well, to hell with fate, really. And don't take this the wrong way, Wraith, but the amount of awkwardness you pack into a single day. No wonder you're so skinny. Oh, you don't have to call him out like that. All that second guessing yourself must burn a lot of calories. Damn. Main character's getting spicy. No offense taken. Yeah, okay, it's true. I can be a little awkward, I guess, sometimes. Damn, she just straight murdered that man. Right, so I'm going to stick with Spirit. Spirit breathes a sigh of relief. Wait, Spirit can breathe? I've got enough revenging to do without having to kill you and Wraith too. I mean, I'd watch it. I'm just saying. We're back at the Goth Lighthouse. Spirit walks you around a corner to show you something that she discovered in this place and knew was meant to be connected with her journey. A cherry tree. Ooh, I do like those. It is just a small sapling, but it has begun to sprout flowers. It doesn't make sense to see a cherry tree here, in this place. It also doesn't make sense to see a ghost in a black bathing suit. So, you just accept it. Indeed. I have no questions. As Spirit steps up to the tree, a cold breeze pulls some petals off, aww, and they come cascading through the air around the both of you. How romantic. Do you know the meaning of the cherry blossom? I do, actually. They're beautiful, but also quite symbolic. Of course, like all good symbols, their meaning is pretty complicated. What do they mean to you? For many people, being among cherry blossoms is like being at a celebration of life. People travel great distances just to be near their vibrant beauty. I go out on my veranda. However, as beautiful as they might be, they aren't magical. They're simply flowers. I mean, in a sense they're magical. They quickly die and fade away, and for this reason they are also a symbol of the fleeting nature of life, of our fragile mortality. In a way, it's the spectre of looming death that calls attention to this special moment, to see and appreciate life. She looks so pained as she says that. How does that duality make you feel, Tara? Empowered, frustrated, unsure. Let's say empowered. The knowledge that life and death are a cycle has always given me peace. Accepting the fleeting nature of life, like the beauty of a flower in bloom, allows me to appreciate the moment without being too hung up on what comes next. As you explain, Spirit's face begins to look sad to you. Aw, you're not sure why. It's not the happiest topic, life and death, but why should that matter? And then it dawns on you. Spirit has been trapped in this ghastly state of death with no hope to cycle back, no rebirth, her moment of blossoming life long gone. That scary time of death and decay that comes after the good part. That's Spirit's eternity. Aww. I feel like an idiot. I wasn't talking about you. I wasn't even thinking about you. Oh, she's gonna kill us again, isn't she? You just answered from the heart. I can't let that bother me. Our priorities are not the same. I have my mission. Oh no, we chose wrong. Once, the fallen cherry blossoms represented the souls of samurai warriors. Those with noble characters, those who did not fear death, those who were killed in the greatest sacrifice to honor their emperor. Their lives were short, but their purpose gave them beauty. Those warriors saw death coming, but they never despaired. They stood and faced it. They held their swords and struck down their fear. But despite the samurai spirit that lives on in me, in my noble bloodline, my life has ended, but my death continues to stretch on. The cycle is frozen. This cherry tree, it's not real. Though its petals fall, they soon replenish. It's as if it were installed here by someone. You watch as Spirit chooses her words very carefully. By something with no respect for the balance of life and death. Oh, she angry. We're sorry to interrupt. You know we don't believe you, right? Yep. But this time we've got a really good reason. And it has nothing to do with us being manipulated by an unseen force. Because that's definitely not happening. Nobody accused you of that, but okay. We're just here to tell you that it's time for dinner. Alright. Get it while it's hot. I guess it's time to go or whatever. Thanks for spending some time with me today. I enjoyed it. Did you? Did you really? Because you didn't seem to like that answer. Me too. What a fun day you've been having. I can see it written all over your face. You're shining. And that's not just the remaining anxious sweat from spending an afternoon courting a psycho killer. Hey, you don't know what I like. No, you really are feeling this whole romantic experience. Don't worry, I'll keep your dirty little secrets. You don't know me. But enough gentle ribbing, it's time to get back to business. All the, appetizing singles have arrived for dinner, including Trickster, my boy. Wraith is here too. We're not going to do the gag where we cram them all on screen at the same time again, so just believe me, they're all here. And they're just as sexy and demented as you remember them. Yes. With your love on the line, everyone is being very careful not to offend you by saying the wrong thing. Congrats, by the way, on getting this far. I'm as surprised as you are that these four are falling for you. No, not because of your personality, but because you just met them yesterday. However, since Trapper seems like the biggest long shot to end up holding onto your heart, he throws caution to the wind and speaks up. It's a pretty small consolation prize for being the least loved killer on Murderer's Island, but hey, letting them have this one moment in the spotlight is the least we can do. And heaven knows, they won't do any better than that. Hey, big boy. If I'm dining solo, I'm eating what I want, and you're all eating it too. Lamb shank. Rare. Salt. Pepper. No sauces allowed. You serve it with one single piece of broccoli so Wraith won't complain. I like broccoli. Gives me horrible gas. Oh, I don't like that. Oh no, thank you. Buddy, wait till you smell what I can't even talk. Smell what rare lamb does to my bowels. It's awesome. I wish to exit this conversation. Dinner will be served shortly, but certain power brokers would like to know about your day. No. Would you like to share your day with the rest of the group? Not really. You've had an interesting day, that's for sure, but how will you describe it to the others? Say too much or too little and it could affect your standing with the group. It was, whatever. Okay, don't just sit there saying nothing. Nothing is not an option. Watch me. Gush. Be coy. Gush. Be coy. It wasn't really a date. More like two people avoiding everyone else and choosing to be alone, but doing it in a relatively close proximity to each other. Oh, she likes that as... She's so hard to please. That's exactly right. Couldn't have not said anything of value better myself. My big brain is not big enough to comprehend that. That was too many negatives. Spirit is clearly happy with the way you portrayed your date. Nice, we're in! No surprise, she doesn't like people getting into her business. We're in, boys. Dwight and Claudette bring out dinner. Everyone eats in silence. No one trusts anyone now, and they are all very tired. Same. Oh wait, no, sorry, that's a dreary supernatural horror thriller set in Antarctica. Not a charming parody dating sim set in an undisclosed tropical paradise. Okay, but where's Trickster? Bony appetite. Claudette, please. Don't you mean Bon? No. Almost everything we serve has a lot of bones in it, even the vegetables. Okay. Impossible to avoid on this island. Everyone eats without speaking. Bony appetite. Tensions are rising. Oh, both of the sexual and deadly variety. Whew. When everyone finishes, Dwight and Claudette come back to clean up the table. They linger around you as they pick up your plate, take your napkin, and dust crumbs off the table. That's right, work, Dwight, work. What will you say? What would you like to say to the servants? Thanks. Your top-notch service is much appreciated. I play with many Dwights and Claudettes. They are always good. Everyone, if you would please be so kind as to follow us to the fire pit, we'd greatly appreciate it. We've been told something big is going to happen. Something that will change everything. All right, let's go. You can go willingly or you can go unwillingly. You have no choice. Tough cookies. I choose to go unwillingly. Did you have a choice on how you said that, dweeb? Yes, and I immediately regret how I did. Good. Something needs to change around here. Fire is rebirth. Fire illuminates the soul. I hope the fire isn't too smoky. Smoke hurts my eyes. I have pretty sensitive eyes. I'm also horribly afraid of it. The fire, I mean, not my eyes. Because of childhood trauma involving fire. And finally, everyone starts moving towards the fire pit, if only to get away from Wraith's complaining. Ah. Take a seat on a comfortable log, feeling the fire's heat against your skin, and wait for the other killers to take their places, wondering who will want to tell a story this time. Is it story time again? Yes. Will narrator tell a story? I bet they've got a stunningly creative mind. Hey, you think, are they allowed to simply place thoughts in my mind like this? Doesn't seem fair. Everyone makes their way in, but something unexpected happens. Nothing. Nothing happens. Something almost always seems to be happening here, so nothing is probably not a great sign. Oh boy, that's a lot of killers. Oh cool! And now everyone is looking at you. So, do something. Should I pick someone to tell a story? Or we could play charades. Boggle? What the heck is Boggle? Well, we were actually thinking, why don't you tell us a story? I mean, that's literally my job. Wraith points his spine and skull staff thingamajig at you. Please don't point that at me. You duck out of its way. Who knows what that thing can do? Probably shoot lasers. Try not to bore us. You're not my supervisor. We're just very interested in you, ma'am. Please put that dress back down. This is I can't even speak. Don't speak for me, Huntress. Indeed. Now, you can't tell me if you're warm from the fire or if it's your nerves heating up. Yes. You know that the fire is right here, but maybe if we stop talking about it all the time, we can start to pretend it's not here and doesn't, threaten to burn us all alive. He's not supposed to hear me. Get out of here, Wraith. Tara was about to make an important decision about telling a story or not. Yeah. Fine, I'll tell a story. I'm not the storytelling type. You know what? I'll tell a story. I'm game. Trickster, my boy. I hope it's a mystery. You'll get what you're given. Okay, so what type of story do you want to tell? Romance, adventure, action. Adventure. Alright, you like your Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson movies? How about some adventure? Now we're talking. Oh, so the Trapper likes that one, eh? It's not my favorite, but I respect your choice and will nod politely. You don't have to say that, Wraith. Just nod politely. Okay, here goes. I really like to go fishing. Solid hobby. Great foundation for a story, for sure. You pause. Everyone is waiting with bated breath. No pun intended. Oh wait, that's it? Not much of a story. Barely even a thought. My pun was better than that story. You sure that's all you have to say? Yes, that's all. No, you were kidding. I'm kidding! So what type of story do you want to tell? Romance, personal, action, personal. I'll get a little personal now, if that's okay. Those types of tales are the best, and often the most sad. It's a bit of a love story. Is it about two strong hunters who meet when they both try to bludgeon the same wily wolverine? Maybe. Or about a deranged killer who makes the only woman who ever believed in him witness a display of shocking violence? Maybe. Not quite. It's about my parents. They met at a party in college. He was hosting, she'd been dragged there by some friends. There is a lot of killers on screen right now. Oh. Trickster's out. My people need me. They couldn't have been more different, and yet, as the night went on, they were drawn to each other. She made fun of his taste in music, and he took an interest in her major, women's studies. They were married within 2 months. Bit soon to know if you can trust someone, don't you think? It's so sweet. Oh, Wraith liked that. Exactly, I learned a lot about love from them. If you know, you know. Some people don't need years to get acquainted with someone. Love could spark from a look across a campfire. Now you've got their attention. Look at Trapper posing. Each killer is furiously attempting to catch your eye from across the fire pit. It's quite alarming, actually. Except for Trickster, who has headphones in and is loudly playing his own music to drown you out. That little shithead. Okay, that was not a very good story. I don't mean to insult you, but it was actually quite bad. Understood. Sorry, but this narrator keeps it real. We can't just end there. So, who else would you like to hear a story from tonight? You look from killer to killer, trying to decide who might be the most entertaining. I suppose I could tell a story. I don't really want to, but anything I say is sure to be better than whatever you get out of anyone else in this group. Yeah, tell me, girl. Like all good stories, I stole this one from someone in the past who is dead now and can't do anything about it. Harsh but true. It's called The Bride. Technically, I suppose, the fiancé. One winter, a young couple decided that the next spring they would be married. The two were madly in love and could not wait for the snow to melt, so they could join in matrimony and unite their souls for eternity. Per the latest bridal trends, they decided to have their wedding ceremony at the edge of the woods by a beautiful, shabby chic farmhouse. Together they spent months planning the details of the wedding. The two created invitations, figured out seating arrangements, and tasted 100 cakes before settling on the perfect one. The tasting of 100 cakes is like the only thing there that sounds appealing. They chose lilikoi, by the way, so fancy. When it came time to figure out the decorations, however, the bride, the fiancé, I guess, since she wasn't actually married yet, wanted to take the lead and set the style. After all, her boyfriend had been wearing cargo shorts and open-toe sandals for pretty much their entire relationship, so he was definitely not to be trusted. Oh, called out. Having decided on such a lovely natural setting for the ceremony, the fiancé decided that she would create unique floral arrangements from the local wildflowers that surrounded the farmhouse. As soon as the sun rose on the first day of spring, she set off into the woods. Each day, she spent hours mapping out where the best blooms could be found and prepared to pick them herself the morning of the wedding so that they'd be at the height of their freshness and beauty. Enamored with the incredible variety of flowers in the woods she surveyed, the bride, the fiancé, since they had not yet been married, became obsessed with knowing just how many there were so that she could choose the absolute best. When the fateful morning of her big day finally came, the fiancé told her husband-to-be that she had one final errand before the wedding. Excited for the ceremony to come, she dressed in her beautiful white gown and set off into the woods to gather flowers. Treading carefully, she followed her route, selecting only the best stems and collecting them in a basket. However, when she came upon a once familiar clearing, something was not as she expected. Somehow, it was more beautiful now than it had ever been before, and just on the edge of her view was a new bush filled with blossoms so vibrant and colourful, she became dizzy just looking at them. But the fiancé ignored her sudden spell and pressed ahead, scooping up flower after flower. And every time she did, she noticed just further ahead, impossibly, even more beautiful blossoms. Carried by the sweet fragrance of spring air, the bride, the fiancé, crept further and further into the woods until she turned a corner, stepped over a mossy fallen tree trunk, and realized she had been here before. But this wasn't the clearing she remembered, or at least not how she remembered it. The flowers were suddenly overripe, decaying, falling from their stems into festering, moldy piles on the floor. Where bees had been, now only flies buzzed. Where the scene of flowers had once intoxicated her, the odor of mildew now made her sick. The spirit really has a way with words. She turned and looked back, but the path was dark. That was not sarcastic either, I like how she tells stories. Into a shadowy glen she walked and walked and walked. That day, as guests gathered at the farmhouse, the fiancé was nowhere to be seen. Her friends, family, and love began to look for her, but to no avail. They searched the pasture, the tree line, and into the forest, but there were no beautiful wildflowers or young lovers to be seen. Just old dead trees, trampled vines, and moss-covered rocks. The fiancé stayed a fiancé for eternity, always wandering, looking for fresher blooms to clip, but never finding them. Yoshi's crying, distracted by a never-ending search for perfection, unable to see that you are loved for who you are. Aww. Out there, all alone. I thought it was beautiful and sad. Just like someone we know. How was Storytime? A lot of people like to take potshots at sequels, but I think every good story deserves a follow-up. When you think it's the end, the sequel is almost never as rewarding as the original. That's why I'm much more of a fan of the episodic style of storytelling. Same. Knowing it's a series takes a lot of pressure off any individual installment, and builds a greater sense of community between audience and creator. Tell me, Tara, if you could delete any sequel from existence, what would it be? Oh boy. Don't answer that. We don't actually care. Oh. We're just here to make sure that we seamlessly move on to the next segment of the evening. Okay. God forbid my small talk get in the way of a romantic twilight moment. Dwight, I'm gonna need you to shut your yap trap. You know that we need to get back to that thing we do whenever we're not on screen. Okay. You have fun tonight. And try not to, wink wink, end up dead. You don't know what I'm into. Why did you say the words wink wink out loud? And what kind of double entendre are you getting at with the end up dead thing? Dwight is physically incapable of winking. Not since the accident. And you do know that all of these people are despicable criminals with double-digit kill counts, right? Yes. Is that supposed to turn me off? Well, except for Spirit. She really doesn't belong here. She's strictly a victim, not a perpetrator. No wonder she's pissed. Indeed. Did I hear somebody trash-talking Spirit? Deal me in. What do you say we take this talk to the hot tub so I can soak this bod while I roast that ghost with some killer hot takes? The trapper is so sassy. Please, enough talk of burns. Things that are lit or getting blazed. It's enough that these activities have to be set next to a literal fire. Must I be surrounded by figurative flames as well? What if we turned and ran as far away from this place as we could? Just you and me. On those spindly legs. Oh, she called him out. You'd probably tire before you got too far. If it's running away to someplace more secluded Tara is after, then you should obviously join me. Have you seen these legs? Pure power. I mean, yes, ma'am. I have indeed seen those legs, and I am not going to argue that they are pure power. Whew. Not that my walk speed really reflects my giant stature, but that's because I choose to move slowly for stealthy reasons. It's my own choice, and it's completely logical. Why is everyone obsessed with comparing themselves to each other and creating drama? I'm so over that. Don't you get it? Society wants to trick you into fighting with each other so that corporations can swoop in and sell you fake solutions to all your fabricated problems. I think the spirit has some issues that she needs to deal with. I'll be sitting in the shade and drinking something locally sourced while thumbing through a public domain novella printed on recycled paper because I refuse to play their game anymore. Yeah, you do that. It's like she's actively trying to be as unappealing as possible. Does it really turn anyone else on or just me? Despite Trapper's insatiable appetite, it seems his attention, along with the attention of everyone else, is still on you, for the moment. If you could, I don't know, just pick one of us, maybe we could all move on with our lives, or, some special projects we might have going. You heard him, who will it be? Who will you head off with for an evening activity? Well, I mean, duh. I'm just saying, you may not get a ton of chances to date around like this before your time on Murderer's Island comes to a close. And no, I'm not satisfied with that name either, but this streaming reality TV dating show boom happening is pretty much all that wasn't taken. Which killer will you pick? And yes, we're back to excluding Trickster because, that guy. Rude. Yeah, girl. Spirit. Oh, you picked me. Yay. Thank you. I feel very heartened by your reaction. Sorry, that was rude of me. I despise phoniness, so I should be honest with you. You make for interesting company, and I love the idea of winning over these other killers at all costs, even when I hate the game and the prize, but I had a long day. She's not into us, oh no. Floating, subverting expectations, grinding my teeth as I imagine sweet, sweet revenge. It takes a lot out of me. So, don't stop bringing your A game, alright? It might seem like I hate everything, and getting to really know who I am is an impossible task not worth trying, but too bad. You won't know unless you search deep inside yourself and bring everything you've got. Or just say the exact right thing at the right time and melt my cold heart in an instant. I don't know the rules here any better than you do. See you at the bar, I guess. Oh no, this is like our final chance. You arrive at the bar to find Dwight and Claudette both holding cocktail shakers surrounded by a bevy of bottles for assorted boozes. Yeah. Who's ready? To get wasted! Look at these party animals. As you know, I don't drink, so not me, unless you mean wasted, as in killed, in which case, Dad, if you're out there somewhere, I will find you and waste you for what you've done to me. Ooh, daddy issues. This is gonna be a lot to unpack. You really don't drink, ever. Is that a like, because it will just fall out a hole in your stomach thing, or do you want to get stabbed? I don't drink alcohol because alcohol is poison of the body and the mind, and I don't need to act like a fool to have a good time thing. What? Then why did you choose our mixology lesson as your romantic nighttime activity? Everyone knows this kind of date is just an excuse to get loaded up on booze and make terrible decisions. It's true, not a single person has ever learned anything at one of these things. Dwight, now that's not true. You learned how to tie a cherry knot in a stem using only your tongue. Oh, that's too much information. Whoa, who ordered the soda with a splash of my private business? Because that's off menu. Well, I know what I'm drinking to forget tonight. Same. Whew. Mixology is a real thing and it doesn't require alcohol to be interesting. I'll have you all know that I worked at a restaurant before I was violently executed. By your father. On whom you will have your bloody revenge. Right. Well, so be it. How about you, Tara? Do you drink? Honestly, no. Booze it up. Stay sober. I mean, I actually don't, so... I've got the impression that tonight will be a night I want to remember perfectly, so I'm going to pass up on the alcoholic drinks. Here. She'd like that. Yes, we're in. Alcohol is a false escape. Besides, it's not like sober people can't have fun. You watch as Spirit picks up a plump cherry and roughly stabs a little plastic sword through it. Cherry juice splatters everywhere and its little fruity guts flop out onto Spirit's lap. That's an image they just made me see in my head. Oopsie. One of the upsides of wearing black, it hardly shows stains. No take backsies. I can't deal with this. I love birds. What drink shall we make? Oh no, I can't save until I make a choice. Okay. Fancy beer, zombie, Bloody Mary, dark and stormy. Yeah, let's go dark and stormy. How about a dark and stormy drink for my dark and stormy date? Oh yes, we're in! Yes! Okay, that one is cute. Please allow us to demonstrate how a dark and stormy is made. First, rum, or in this case, rum extract, and a bit of apple juice is poured over ice, and then fresh ginger beer is added in, garnished with a lime wheel, and drink. The end. Do you think you're up for the challenge of replicating this recipe, Tara? If I have to do that in order, I immediately forgot everything that I just read. Replicating rum substitute and ginger beer over ice. Don't forget the lime wheel. I've already forgotten. Rum substitute. Ginger beer. Lime. Rum, ginger, lime. And just remembering, just in case. Rum, ginger, lime. Not sure I appreciated your tone, but yes, you've got it. You're a natural. A sassy natural. Thank you. You and Dwight might have more in common then. Don't you dare. Spirit seems to be in a lovely mood. Did she just compare me to Dwight? As she sips her dark and stormy. She's not even rolling her eyes at your petty behavior. Ooh, on cue, a literal dark storm begins to make its way in from the ocean. You taste your own dark and stormy. Ooh, as you watch the clouds approach. It's quite refreshing. Isn't this fun? Oh my, that's an angle. Honestly, it's the most drama-free fun I've had since I got here. And since you picked a simple but delicious drink, we've got plenty of time to relax. Oh yeah, what about that escalated? Want to make out a little? Save. We're gonna end this episode here. Everything just very suddenly intensified, very quickly. Come back next week to find out if we're gonna make out a little or not. I'll see you guys then. See ya.